What's up? Been a long time since I dropped a video. Just wanted to go over one of the cars that I have. This is my 1998 Honda Prelude. I've had it a very long time. Yeah, so really quick. I think these cars are making a comeback. I've been seeing a lot of stuff on forums and things online on these cars, and even Donut made a video on these cars, and Donut Media made a video on Preludes. I thought that was a very cool one. I originally, before this car, owned a 1989 SI with the four-wheel steering. Loved that car. I would still have it today. The only reason why I got this is because that car got stolen and stripped and ultimately destroyed internally. Them trying to take the car, they cut the dash and they like totally destroyed the interior back. And this was I would say like 2001 or 2, and I didn't have the resources to keep the car or fix it, so I pretty much abandoned it. The only thing I took with me at the time was my shift knob. But yeah, let's talk about this car. So I got this car after the fact, and I always wanted the Prelude back then. I've had this car ready for sale for a while, but never actually sold it, of course. I mean, it's still here. But yeah, let's talk about what this car has done to it. Basically, all the bolt-ons you could have got many years ago. Let's see, we got the intake by V2, or excuse me, AEM. It's the V2. Some of you might remember those spark plug wires. Those are the ones that have the capacitors in them. These headers are okay. These are the cheapy Megan Racing headers. I changed those from the OEM, but they started to leak really bad at the notorious mid section after the where the collector, I guess, starts from the 4 and where it transitions to 2 pipes. I'm running the Tane Type Flex coilovers, Tanabe sway bar, and this originally was a 4-speed Triptronic, and I had this for my Lude owners. You know how hard that was to lift this up with one hand. Preludes have a very heavy solid steel hood. This right here would make your car so much quicker if it was carbon fiber. This is ridiculous, but I mean, yeah, I gladly would have paid an extra grand, $1,200 for an aluminum hood. But this is like seriously one of the heaviest hoods I've ever lifted on a Japanese car. I mean, this is like an American car. I mean, it's really long though if you look at it. So you never want to slam it down from up here. I mean, you just bring it down and just give it a little push. This originally was a 4-speed Triptronic, and I long time ago, this guy named Max Hall, he's got a kind of a mixed reputation online, but back in the day when I bought this car, he did the swap for me, and I must say he did a hell of a job on it. You really can't tell that it's swapped over. This car's got right now 154,000 on it. This is again 98. I bought this in 99. It had some miles on it already. I've actually been doing stuff to this car slowly but surely, because I made a decision to hold on to it for a while, and I'm trying to convert it to an all black interior. So I just picked up these original seats for the Honda Prelude. I'm kind of liking them. I like I don't know if you can tell. I don't really have the best lighting here right now, but there's like an orange inside of here, and some of you that already have this interior know what I'm talking about. There's little orange threads in here, and I like them. They look cool. I just cleaned all these, shampooed them, wiped them down, and I gave them a little touch up of the spray fabric dye, and I must say this stuff worked really well. I mean, they actually kind of feel a little stiff but soft at the same time. I mean, they feel pretty new is what I'm getting at. And I even sprayed these little pieces here. I masked up the seat, and I did about 2 layers on here, and that came out really nice. This car originally was all beige interior, and I was not feeling the interior ever on this car. I just didn't like the tan. I mean, who likes tan interior? It's so ugly. And right now I have the carpets are still tan. I have had these mats for a long time. However, I was able to find some actual Prelude ones, brand new, still sealed. Those are making their way here. But yeah, so I picked up these front seats and the back seat. I'm waiting on the center console. This is all going to be black. And I tucked in my sparkle harness down here. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with those. It's a 4-point harness. I definitely won't be putting my sparkle seat back in here anytime soon. I actually might replace that later on and put it in a different car, but we'll see. I don't know. But the carpet needs to be changed, and I was able to actually find one today, and I went to pick it up. So I got pretty good condition carpets ready to go. And I'm just trying to convert the interior. I'm not going for a show car or nothing like that. I just would like it to be just all black interior in here, basically. The tan inside, I don't know if I'm gonna go that far to replace the door cards and the dash. I was thinking of actually painting this with that same spray that I used. Let me show you the can that I'm talking about here. I used it already. Where did it go? That's it. Duplicolor vinyl and fabric spray. This stuff is amazing. I've used this before on little plastic pieces, and the paint kept up. You just got to prep it really good. What I recommend is just kind of going over it with Scotch-Brite and rubbing alcohol and kind of giving it a light scuff, and just do light layers, and it'll stay. This stuff works great. I've never used it on like soft material like this pliable stuff like this, but I'm willing to give it a shot, and if it doesn't work out, then I'll look online for some door cards. The next step I'm going to do is actually heat this and peel it off. This is like a little plastic trim that came with the car. Never liked that either, but I mean, yeah. My wiring's a little bit of a mess. I had an issue with my ECU. So all that's kind of dug up there. I got 2 ECUs. I had to buy another new original, because when I did the swap from automatic to 5-speed, the shop kept my old ECU and gave me this P28 ECU. Wait, yeah. So there's my original. This would have been my original. However, they kept it back in the day, and I had to buy this on OfferUp. But I just got this matted to the car with the VIN and all that, legit. So that's awesome. And then, so this is the one I'm running now. My paperwork. This is P28, P128 or P28 ECU, and that's the I don't know if you can see that. Sorry for the lighting, but that's the little jumper harness down there. Yeah. So I'm not really dealing with the carpet today. I'm gonna take a day off on this, and so you can see the gauge here. You know, has the park and all that, and down here, 3 pedals. Got my gas, brake, and clutch. So I mean, the transmission in this is so smooth. I'm getting close to needing a clutch. The clutch that was put in here had some miles on it, so it wasn't like brand new. But it was just to save me money at the time, because I was already spending quite a bit for that job. And yeah, so the car's been really fine. This is a very reliable car. I mean, it's a Honda. And shout out to Auto Explosions in Gardena. They did this paint job, and I must say they did a heck of a job. It needs some restoration done to it. You know, I'm not really pro at that, but I'm kind of learning and working on little areas. But starting to get a little yellow haze from maybe almost 2 years of parking it outside. California sun kind of gave it a little yellowing, but the sides and stuff and look great. But this car originally was green. You kind of see there. And pearl's never a good color to ask for at a shop because it just costs more money because of the different stages, and also the paint itself is just more expensive. But I mean, they did good. I mean, they did all this. I mean, this is the little extra detail that you pay for, you know. You can kind of see stuff in here, little overspray here. And this paint job is going on 20 years. The shop's been around a long time. And Gardena, I don't even know if they remember painting this, but this is where this car was painted. See, they did the hood underneath, but you can see the engine bay. It's still green. I mean, the engine was still kept in here, but they did a really good job. Yep. So one of the little jobs I got to do on this thing, it's got a little oil leak on the oil pan. So I'm going to replace it with this cool gasket here. I'm not even sure what kind this is, but I don't like the Honda Bond stuff. So we're going to try this guy and see if that fixes it. So yeah, I mean, that's my Honda Prelude. I've had it a long time. Yeah. Here's my sound. It actually still has sounds in it. These are old school Power Technique amps from like mid-90s. These are the good ones at Best Buy, I would say. Okay, not mid, maybe like the end of the 90s into the 2000s. It's an old school 10-inch kicker. I mean, this is just in there because I don't have room, but I don't really use that anymore. I might try to find these little moldings in here. I took them out because actually at one point I tracked this car at Willow, so it's got some battle damage, but I'm not trying to make this car show like I said earlier. It's just I'm just trying to bring it to a nice street look and actually start using the car again. But here's some pictures of me at Willow. Maybe I'll put some pictures up on this video. But yeah, so there you have it. My 1998 Type S Honda Prelude. Still kicking, still going. Let me show you the wheels real quick. You can't even find these anymore. If you do, they're probably used, but even these Zeniths, they're really old. They still feel really like normal. They've been like it's been garage for many years now. And like I said, I still drive it once in a blue moon, but the tread and the grip is still there. The tire size, I got 225, 45, 17. These are the RT615s. I know they got a much newer version, probably two after this, but this is what was out at the time. So these are F101RC wheels. These are actually the later. This is like the last year run of these wheels. I'll show you the OG F101RCs. See how this is engraved? Well, before they were just stickers, and I actually have extra stickers. I thought about putting them on here, but why? Because this is already here. So I decided to save them for the front wheels when those stickers start to really look bad. I just threw this on here not long ago, just a Honda badge on there. OEM brakes still. They actually brake really well, and I don't even think you can see the coilovers from here, but let me see if I can get a light in there. Okay, sort of, kind of. Let me go from underneath. Let's see here. Bear with me, guys. Boom. So these are the Type Flex, like I mentioned earlier. Great coilovers. This car feels so planted. I really enjoy the way this car drives and handles. It was already a very good handling car. I don't have the actual rear sway bar. I just have the little tie bar down there in the upper. I can't imagine making the rear any more stiffer than it is. It's already so tight in the rear. I know that sounds funny, but this thing handles very well. And anyway, so let me go back to those wheels again. So here, these are the first, I would say the original OG ones here. The center caps, these are the other option center caps that I got from the Pro Racer Series wheel that they made. I have the original center caps somewhere. Actually, they're in my case over there. But yeah, so these are the stickers I was talking about. This is like a silk screen on here. Very cool wheel. Yeah, this car needs to be detailed very bad. It's never had that kind of attention. Like I said, I tried this car a few times. Let's see, maybe like 4 or 5 times. Took it to Willow and just ran it all day and just drove it home. On the last visit on the way home, I was going to work and the tranny just decided it was done, so that's why we did the swap. And have no complaints. This little molding here, this is something I want to replace. It was peeling and it looked so ugly that I decided to just get a stainless steel wheel and just take all of the plastic. It's very thick, the plastic covering on here. And I was going to paint it, but I'm not sure if it'll look good or even stick. So I decided just to leave it like this for a while until I decide what I'm going to do. And I'm still not sure. I'm pretty sure this is all easy to remove. One of the other issues this car had, now that I'm looking at this door, this window started to slow down, you know, as you went up or down with it. And when I pulled this door card off, a nut fell on the floor, and it looked like it fell off a bracket. And when I looked at what was, you know, the way it worked and all that, sure enough, it was like the main pivot point for this window to, you know, to not hang up and rub the rear here. But long story short, I ended up putting the hardware back, of course, and re-greasing the track that this window slides up and down in, and this thing opens up like the way I remember it when it was new. Or sorry, but when I bought it, like just super quick. You know, I used to think the motors were going out. It was just like the load of the window being pushed on the frame that slowed it down. But it's so fixed, and now I put the hardware back with Loctite, and it's like super legit, like repaired. So I ended up doing the other window just so I know, peace of mind, that they're both fixed. Let's see. I normally paint these on my other cars, but this is like the original paint. It still looks really good. But that's because it's been garage now for a long time. The steering wheel, I would like to change that. It's the original one. It has the airbag. To me, it just doesn't look that good. Or we'll see. I mean, it's a good wheel. I threw this tape on here, you know, it's the racer thing to do, or ricer thing. I don't know, you tell me. But I guess it helps when I was tracking the car. Yeah, this has been on there for a long time. This is an old school tacho from Pivot, old school Razzo or Razzo rearview mirror. I don't even know if they make that anymore. They probably do. I think Broadway was the other brand. But yeah, old school stuff. I even have their shift knob. This is actually off my 89 that got stolen. When the car was impounded, or not impounded, sorry, but in the yard, the guy wouldn't let me touch my own car unless I bailed it out. So I went in looking at it, trying to assess what I could save and if I could repair it, and decided to just steal my own knob back. And I just wanted to bring that over to this car, just kind of like a memento, I guess. But yeah, I really do miss that car. like the 80s look of the Hondas, the little boxiness and all that. I love that. Yeah, so these, of course, these aren't OEM bumpers. I think they're not Buddy Club, sorry. I think it was a, you know what? It's a Spider. It's the Spider bumper, and then this is a Buddy Club 2, like, what do you call? It's kind of like a generic one. I don't even know if this is the legit one. But it's not fiberglass. It's actually fiberglass and like that plastic. And had that black tone added to it. This bumper got ripped off at a track one day when I was getting pulled out of a ditch at Big Streets of Willow. I went off, and yeah, like I said, this car has battle damage. It's not a show car. It's got a lot of little blemishes, but I guess at certain views and certain lighting, it looks really, really clean. But she's got some little dings. There's a scratch here. A little ladder fell on it here. These are aftermarket headlamps that I would like to replace. I've had these on here now more than 10 years, and this is back before LEDs took off. So these are actually CFL little halos in here, and they looked great when the car was like, when these were new. Just looked great. These are my little budget turn signals, because I don't have any turn signals since these aren't OEM, and I don't have the bumpers anymore. I cut the harness for the lights. I have those put away, and I just wired these directly into the lamps here. This is the non-honeycomb grill. I know people like the honeycomb. I kind of like just like that, simple, clean. I mean, I don't mind the honeycomb, but I like my grill. It looks cool. I was actually thinking of just kind of cleverly coming up with a little bracket and then putting the little Prelude box right here. For, you know, the honeycomb grill has a little Prelude badge right there. Thought that'd be cool. These are the 2 Willow Springs tracks that I've been on, so that actually means something to me. It's not like I just threw some stickers there. Tane, because I always did like the brand. This was the brand I have back in my day of when I bought this car and when I was doing stuff to it. So, old school. Oh dang, this is old. So I went to the JGTC show. I think that was in '05, and they handed out these little square sheets of HKS stickers, and that's from then. And it just says premium fuel only, tuned by HKS. Of course, this was not tuned by HKS. This was tuned by MHR, Max Hall Racing. I don't even know if he's around anymore, but he did a hell of a job on the car back then. And this car does take premium fuel only. The first time I bought this car, I made the mistake of putting, I think it was 87, some Arco gas, and don't do that. The car will run like crap. Yeah. So it takes 91. I believe even 93. So if you live in those areas where you have 93, go for it. But yeah. So exhaust is custom. This is a 2.5 piping all the way. Catalytic, no comment on that. But the headers are definitely not OEM. I kind of wish they were, because I went through some issues with the gasket on this guy, and I've been eyeballing those 1320 H22 headers. That looks like it might solve the issue with the exhaust leak down there in the front. And it's just a MagnaFlow muffler, and I just threw on the DC Sports tip that's black. Looks kind of cool. It's just a tip. It's on there really tight. Let me see if you can see. Well, you can't see. I'll give you a light down there. So DC Sports. MagnaFlow. And it's just kind of clamped on there. Just with those clamps there. And I painted the front of, like, the back facing section of the exhaust black, just to kind of hide everything. Yep. Threw this on there because the guy asked me if I had a tow hitch, and I said nope. And he locked it in from here on the strap to pull me out of the ditch right here. and that's why when the strap got tension, it ripped off my bumper. And yeah, and back in those days, OEM bumpers were like way too much unpainted. So this was my other option, was to go with a body kit bumper, and I think it looks good. This car pulls it off, especially with the two-tone paint. It looks good. It's got that, you know, that scheme of a white car with the little panda look to it, with the little red accents here and there, you know. But I love this car. I mean, these cars are so low. Look, here's my, I would say this is like a little under 4 feet or 4 feet, right? I'm about 5'6". Here's where I stand to this car. I'm not tall. I'm pretty short. So, and then you look at my STI, and it looks like a big family car, even though this is like way more sportier. I don't know if you can tell here. I don't know if that helps. But yeah, it's way, so here we go. So it's up to my, little bit above my shoulder. And then this car, look at my shoulder. Right? So it's already a low car, and then with the tank coilovers, I lowered it, you know, a good 2 inches. I have it on super soft settings in the front. That's like 4 clicks from bottoming out to the soft side, and about 6 from the softest side here. Only because the streets over here are so bad in my town here in LA. It's got crappy roads. It sucks to drive a manual here in LA anyways because all the traffic, but that COVID situation, the COVID traffic hasn't been, you know, what it used to be back in the earlier COVID months. There's a lot of open road. A lot of people, unfortunately, were not working. I was still working, and I did appreciate the traffic being so light, driving my stick shift cars, but now that it's slowly kind of building up again, it's not fun, but I do miss or enjoy driving the manual gearbox. Yeah. So, alright guys, Subi Dad. Looking to do more videos. I just wanted to cover this car because right now this car is a project. I have a big roll of the interior carpeting ready to go in this car. I've been holding on to that, and maybe I'll do a video on that. I've never taken the carpet out, so it can't be that hard. I've done other many jobs on cars, from all the fluids, the brakes, suspension replacements, axles and all that. I've done all that stuff, and all that stuff's pretty easy to me. Ball joints and control arms. So carpet, how hard can it be? So yeah, that's my next project. Carpet, and removing the wood grain finishes in here, and installing the center console. Should be a breeze, and I'll update you with the way that comes out. Peace.